Hello, everybody. This is Nicole with Life with eCom Sellers, and this is day, I don't know anymore, 28 of the Print on Demand Challenge. There's a lot going on. So today we're going to talk about branding, and then tomorrow I will pick up, your naming of your store. Although I will tell you that Etsy does have. Let me just, I'll send you a link. Etsy has a great little article that they did on naming your store. Etsy your store. The actual Etsy tips for choosing your store name. I thought it was good, so I was like, I can't really modify anything about this. I think it's a good start, so I am going to put it in the chat. Like this and figure out where the chat is. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the chat. I'll email it to everybody. But it's a great article on naming your store, and we'll get into naming our store tomorrow. But today, I'm going to just give you some things to think about, and you will actually have homework after this. So the first thing is branding your store. There are some pretty cool Etsy stores out there in the universe. There's also some pretty cool Amazon storefronts and some pretty cool eBay storefronts, and everyone that creates goes after a specific theme. Um, the look and feel of their store and the banner that you see for their store um, is associated with that theme, whatever that theme is. So this is my branding course that I did for bundles. But there's a lot of aspects of this that actually apply to you. So I'm going to actually pull up a store real quick. I'll just pull up a couple stores. I'm not choosing any one store. I'm just going to choose some stores. Candles, because I was talking to somebody the other day about candles and it just came to me. So let's go with it's clearly a brand. That's pretty cool. Okay. So Brooklyn Hearts Candle, which is pretty cute. This is their banner. Okay. I don't know these ladies. I don't. Brooklyn Hearts Candle, very simple. There's nothing elaborate about it, and that's fine. 3 women making handcrafted candles with love. Okay. And as you kind of look at the candles, I thought this was pretty cool when I just looked at it because it looks like it is in a coffee cup, which is pretty cool. This one clearly looks like it's a cappuccino. This one looks like it's cookies. This one is some kind of bowl. This looks like cereal down here. So they're doing some pretty cool, fun stuff. This is really fun looking. Um, the name that they chose, Brooklyn Hearts, 3 women. I think that's pretty cool. Hearts, I'm assuming that they're probably talking about their heart, their love for candles, making candles. And they're probably in Brooklyn. So that's my guess. They are. Brooklyn, New York, wasn't paying attention. So that's my guess as to the reason why they came up with their name. And they didn't do anything elaborate with their banner at all. Whereas I think there was a recipe lady that we looked at before. Probably not going to find her only because I'm looking for her. If I don't find her, I'll go back up and choose one of the others. She had, it was healthy. Healthy. We're still not going to find her only because I'm looking for her. Oh, look at that smoothie. Look at that ebook. There you go, Teresa. Do your stuff, put your stuff in an ebook. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to find the lady. Try one more time. Oh, here she is. Okay. So this is, I think, the lady. And hers is Health at Heart. So you can see here's her banner page as compared to the other ladies. She actually did a little bit more. These images are clearly, I can tell you from Canva. And, it's nice. She's also got a logo. So she took the time to create a logo for herself. She's got a name of her brand, Health at Heart, Healthy Heart Meals and Grocery List. She's here in Dallas, Texas. Okay, April. And compared to, oh, where's my candle ladies up here? Where's my candle ladies? Go back. Compared to the Brooklyn ladies. Now, I like both of them. They clearly didn't do anything extra, which is okay. They don't have to. They don't have to do anything extra. They didn't create a logo. They don't have like, they didn't customize their storefront. Whereas this lady took the time to customize her storefront. And it's ultimately her choice. When you're first starting, having a basic store, that's fine. You don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to do anything elaborate. Don't have to do anything special. You can have a basic store and it's okay. At some later point, as you evolve and grow in your business, if there is a feeling, a theme, a something that you're going after, or if this is going to be something you're going to have long term, you plan on, trademarking it and whatever else, then creating a full storefront is something that I would suggest that you consider. So as we go and look for this lady, let's just see what we can find. I'm going to go look for her on Facebook. I think we looked for her on Facebook before. I think we found her eventually. So here's her Facebook fan page. And as I scroll up to her Facebook fan page, it's not exactly the same as her Etsy page, but again, you get the feeling that it is about meals and it's about being healthy. And you can see her little logo up here. So you have the same, the idea that they go together. Now, for me, I would do the fence thing that she's done over here on Etsy. I think that makes sense. Her logo is there. I would choose the same font so you have some level of continuity, but it still works. I would choose the same font, choose the same header. So wherever you find me, that's the one thing you'll see about eCom sellers. Wherever you find us, you can tell it's us because we use the same colors, we use the same font, our logo is the same. Like it's always the same. And so then people, wherever they find you, they'll remember that. So she's got the little heart with the two dots up above. And I think that's a cute little logo. And it's sort of, depending on how you look at it, it looks like maybe two people, or it could look like, I don't know. It could be any number of things. So then as I go over and try to look up our Brooklyn Candle ladies, they may or may not have a social media presence. I have no idea on anywhere. But if they don't, that is a missed opportunity. Let's go see. Maybe. I don't know. In this lifetime, too many windows? Yeah, probably. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, here we go. All right. So Brooklyn Hearts Candle. So they do have a storefront. It's in Brooklyn, New York. But you'll notice that this particular page does not look like their Etsy store. Doesn't. So I can see on their Facebook page that it looks like maybe, I don't know, this might be their logo. This little infinity with the heart above it. I don't know. That might be their logo. Let's see if I see it on anything else. No, I don't see it on, I see it on these. Okay. And their Facebook last updated on May 22. So they're not updating it that often. And you don't, I mean, if you put something up once a week, that's fine. So hers is March the 13th, April the 20th. So that must be a pin post. So she was consistent there for a little bit, something every single week. And then she sort of stopped. So she didn't have anything in May. She doesn't have anything in June, but that's okay. All right. So as we continue on to some of the other platforms, let's go see what's happening in Pinterest. Let's just see how many windows we can open. Let me do this. Pinterest and their name. This is going to ask me to log in. I don't want to log in. Okay, so I don't immediately see anything with Pinterest and Brooklyn Hearts Candle. Am I missing it? I don't see it on the first page. I would think that they would come up first. Brooklyn Candle Studio, Brooklyn Candle Studio. So were they Brooklyn Candle Studio before? And now they've renamed themselves? No. Yeah, no, they weren't. So they're missing a potential opportunity. Somebody tell me why I feel like they're missing an opportunity on Pinterest. You can unmute yourself.
Pinterest also acts as a search engine.
Yep. And if people are looking for a candle, like if somebody wanted a candle that looked like coffee and they tag that image as a coffee candle or candle, coffee cup or cappuccino or whatever, their image would be the first one to come up because of the fact that you can search by images as well on Pinterest and also on Google. So on Instagram, they do have an Instagram page. I don't know if it's going to make me log into Instagram or not. And so they do have an Instagram page. They have this picture. So does this picture match? This, it is similar to the picture that's on their profile, but it's not exactly the same. But they do have an image here. Looks like they're trying to do some groupings, which is good. They started the process. I don't know if they're maintaining it. Oh, that's so cute. That is so cute. Oh, I love this. Pause, cleanse, focus, strong blessings, focus. Yeah, so it's really cute. They got, oh, that's so cute. Like, I like these ladies a lot. I like their candles, but they're missing out on some potential marketing opportunities. So they should have some level of continuity between their Instagram, their Facebook, their Pinterest, because people can search by images if they want to find a specific product, because they clearly have a niche. This is a great niche. And I don't know, what does their website have? And then they did buy their website, so that's good. And yes, this is their logo. So they, at some point, they need to go back and update, which I do too. But they need to go back and update all their social media to be in sync with their website. So in order to have continuity, whatever the font is that you're using here and the logo that you have here, that's what should be on their Etsy page. That's what should be on their Facebook. That's what should be on their Instagram. That's what should be on their Pinterest. They should have it in all places. Twitter and TikTok matter too, and they could just have this as the logo for their profile for Twitter and TikTok, or they can have the words, whichever one works. But having a presence everywhere helps. So then let's go see what's happening on YouTube. My son is clearly looking for Rainbow Rangers. I love you, Nicholas. All right, so Brooklyn Candle Studio. Brooklyn Candle Studio. Brooklyn Candle Studio has actually done a good job. They came up before the other ladies. And the other ladies do not have a YouTube channel. So that may be an opportunity for them to just put, even if they only had like 3 or 4 videos of their candles, and the videos of the candles were just stills of the products that they sell, just moving across the page, that's fine too. Or they could take a video of their making process, and then they can incorporate that video onto all their other social media. They can include it on their Facebook, they can include it on their Etsy, they can include it on all these other places. So they do have an opportunity to get to do more with their branding and to drive more traffic to what it is they offer. So now we're going to go look at Health at Heart. Let's see if she has anything going on with Pinterest. She hopefully does. I don't know. Okay, so let me space this out. Maybe it's coming up. This American Heart Association came up, which is what I was afraid was potentially going to come up, which is not a bad thing, but so she maybe maybe does not have a Pinterest page. So that is an opportunity for her, especially she's got all these amazing recipes that could be available for people to find on Pinterest. Okay. And let's go see what's happening on Instagram. So it looks like there's a hashtag. Nope, that's not her. It's not her. No, she's got to have an Instagram. She's got to. I would think she would. She got a Facebook. Hmm. Okay. So I am a little shocked. She does not have an Instagram. That's another opportunity. Not that you're going to have to do a bunch of stuff. She's got some hashtags activity happening. This one is health at heart Twitter, but that is not it. Okay. So, two things. If you decide that you're going to build a brand, let's just go back to where we were going. Um, I'll go look and see. One more thing I was going to see about the YouTube. No. Okay. She's got a site. All right, Miss April. Nice to meet you. And her website. So she's got Facebook. She says she's got a YouTube. Ah, she hasn't renamed her channel. Okay, she does have a channel. Yes. Congratulations. Okay, so she's at least got a channel, which is good. She needs to come back and rename her channel though, so that way she can own the channel Health at Heart. But she does have a channel, so she's got a Facebook. She's got a website. She's got a channel. She does not have an Instagram that we can find, and she does have an Etsy store. Ultimately, at the end of the day, people need to be able to find all your stuff. And so, if you get to this place where you're ready to build a brand, this is only when you're ready to build a brand. Please write this down. Go get all of your social media assets once you decide what your domain is going to be. When you know what it's going to be, go get all the social media assets. If you're still thinking and it's something you want to build, if you are just going to do print on demand and it's going to be a bunch of random hodgepodge things, you don't have to go do that. Okay. When you get to that place where you're like, I am ready to build something, I'm ready to build a brand, build something that's unique, build a niche, fill out a niche, then that's when you need to go grab the domain. You need to go grab all of the social media assets and you can hold them until you're ready to do something with them. But go get them all. Go get all of them because there's nothing like starting down that journey of building an amazing brand. And then on one or two of the platforms, and maybe at that point, they're the prominent platforms, someone has your site name. So nobody's looking for health dash at dash heart. People are looking for health at heart. Nobody is looking for health underscore or something or the health related to health at heart should come up. When I type in hashtag ecom sellers, everything that is hashtag ecom sellers comes up everywhere. All of our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all of them, website. Concept. I love it. They need to go grab all their social media assets. And then they need to put together long-term, bigger picture, a game plan for launching on all of their social media platforms. They don't have to launch them all right now. They can just start with the basics and then eventually build it up. If you're going to sell on multiple platforms, if you're going to sell on eBay or you're going to sell on Etsy and you want that brand, that's the name of your store. Again, make sure there's some continuity between your store, your website, and your Etsy storefront, your eBay storefront, and your website and all your social media assets. So I want you to think about this as a long-term asset. There are people who buy stuff. They buy brands. They're interested in brands, especially if the brand takes off or the idea takes off or the concept takes off. They will come in, they will buy you out, and then you can go and sit on a beach in Tahiti and drink Mai Tais all day. But if you haven't built out all the assets or be able to claim all of the social media tags that are associated with it, then if they have to haggle to go get a domain. I was recently talking to somebody about this, and the domain that they needed was going to be $15,000. Somebody had already taken it, and I said, so what you did was you did your Facebook and you did your Instagram and you did your Twitter and you did your Pinterest, but you didn't go buy the domain. That's a costly mistake. Go buy the domain, but make sure before you buy the domain that all the assets are also available on all the social media, and sit down and just go and claim all of them. And how you claim all of them is you sit down and you when you can create a page for Facebook with that social media asset name, and then you can just park it. It can be private. It's not ready to go public. You can do the same thing on Instagram. Just park it. Twitter, same thing. Just park it. Just park all of them because you're not ready to build them out. But you own them so nobody else can come get them. As you're building your empire, nobody can swoop up underneath you and take them away from you. And then now you got to buy your own domain from somebody else, or your social media for Facebook and Instagram is not going to be the real name of your business. It has to be something else like the whatever. And I'm like, who's typing the in front of it? Nobody. When you're searching for something, if I'm looking for Nike, I'm not typing in the Nike. I'm typing in Nike. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense to everybody? That you need to go and grab your social media assets if you think that you're going to build something that can potentially be left to your family as a legacy or be sold at some point. Because all of us need to be thinking about this as the end game. And what is the end game or the long game? What is your goal? Once you build this thing out, it becomes a passion project. And if you decide you want to do it all the way up until your last days, that's fantastic. Is your family going to carry it out, or are they potentially going to sell it or close it down? So think about the long game of this process. What is the plan, the strategy that you're going to implement when it comes to this business? If it's something that you're just going to do and you're the only one that's going to do it, that's fine. But if you envision building it out, having some employees or maybe even some VAs on the side helping you run this business, you get down to working 4 hours or 10 hours a week in the business, and the business is running on autopilot. You've got branding, you've got, all of your social media. I want you to think through that. So when you're thinking about your branding, and again, I think all of you have some amazing ideas. I really do. And I can see those ideas becoming something much bigger. I really can. It's whether or not you can see it and whether or not you have the energy and the bandwidth to be able to execute on it, to let it become what it is that it's supposed to be. I believe that God gives us all ideas. I believe that He plants the seed. If we are praying to Him and we're asking for a solution, I believe He gives us a solution. But we as humans, we don't always do what we're supposed to do, and we don't always follow what we're supposed to follow. We have free will. And so because we have free will, there are some things that we were meant to do that never happen in our lives because we're unable to stay focused and be consistent and just follow the path that God has laid before us. Sorry, I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm just being honest. I believe that in my heart of hearts. I believe that about myself. I believe that God gave me a vision for what I'm supposed to do. And until I'm done with that, he's like, he's not done with me. So I'm like, okay. So I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to help other people step into their own. And even at the end of the day, if it's only one person that ultimately gets to that place where they make ridiculous dollars because of one golden nugget or two golden nuggets that I gave them, I am so happy for them, and I will celebrate them, and I will celebrate their win. And if they get bought out by who knows who, I'll be like, you know what? I knew her win. I knew them win. So I think that when you're thinking about your brand, think long term. Don't think short term if you're going to build a brand. If you're going to just do a little bit of print on demand until you figure out which direction you want to go in, that's fine. If you ultimately decide that bookkeeping is your thing and this is what we're going to build out, and we're going to come up with lots of solutions for those people that are, business owners, maybe female business owners, maybe young business owners, kids that are business owners, maybe senior business owners, whatever it happens to be. Maybe you come up with a bunch of toolkits. Maybe with your brand, as you build it out and you have scripture journals for couples and for kids and for teens, like, that I like thought through, or at least when you give me your idea, I think through it and I can see it. I can see it being much bigger than you can even imagine, but you have to see it. So if you see it, what is the name on the thing that you see? What is the brand? What does the logo look like? What are the colors? What's the font? All of that. You don't have to make a decision today. But what does that look like? Long term, in the distance, what does it look like? Is this something that you feel like once I get started and I start making some money, I really do feel like this can work for me? Because I believe it can. It's whether or not you stick with it. So think about your brand. Think about how you're going to develop it, um, what your colors are going to be, what your logo is going to be. And, there's the ladies that we were looking at for the candles, those are soy candles. That is a specific niche. There are people that are looking for soy candles out here in the universe. And they've created a bunch of cute soy candles. I'm not a soy candle. I don't even know if I've ever smelt a soy candle. I have no idea. I stopped buying candles a long time ago. My son, who's autistic, he's highly sensory. So I'm like, well, we're done with candles. So I don't buy any candles. But I do think those are cute. They're really cute. Um, think about how you want customers to feel when they see your brand. When you think of Disney, what comes to mind for you? When you close your eyes and say Disney out loud, or you see the Disney logo, what do you think? Now, whatever you think now is maybe different than what you used to think maybe 5 or 10 years ago. But the point is, Disney does have a brand. It has a feel that there's something about Disney. People either feel a certain way, have an opinion a certain way, think a certain way. There's the vision in their head. Maybe they're thinking of the theme parks. Maybe they're thinking of the movies. Maybe whatever they're thinking of, something comes to mind. Same thing with Nike, same thing with Sony, same thing with Apple. Something comes to mind. So what do you want people to feel or think when they engage with your brand? You don't have to answer that today. Just want you to think about that for a little bit. So when you're considering a brand, there's a couple of things. You do want to make sure that whatever you're deciding you're going to go with from a branding standpoint, that it's not trademarked. So you can go out to US trademarks and just go look to see if it is trademarked. And if it's not trademarked, that's fantastic. If it is, then you can use your thesaurus to come up with related words. And if you don't have a domain in mind, that's fine. At some later point, when you do have a domain in mind, there's a couple of domains that are actually like a couple of tools that are great for domain generators. So I will email the links to these so that you can think about the domains that the tool generates. And you may not be at a place where you're thinking about this, but when that does come to you, I'm encouraging you to act fast. You can go and buy your domains from Namecheap. You can buy them from GoDaddy. You can buy them from Google Domains. You can buy them from a couple of different places. Buying a domain is not a difficult thing. It is just the fact that you just need to buy it. Because if you don't buy it, then again, when that idea came to you, know that if you've been praying about it, it may be coming from the Lord. Like that's you, that's your name. You'll know immediately when it's your name. So these tools will give you the opportunity to create a domain, generate a name, a bunch of names, and then you can buy a couple of the domains and decide which one is the one that's for you. Okay. Then you want to think about your branding. If you already have a Canva account, that's perfect because they already have a branding section in there. And in that branding section, they can help you with creating logos. They can help you with picking your colors. They can help you with your font, your color, your logo, your font. Colors mean something. So, color psychology is a real thing. When people think of Coke, Coke is red and white. And red and white means excitement. It's bold. When people are drinking Pepsi, Pepsi is blue, red, and white. There's a reason why it's red, white, and blue, or blue, red, and white, depending on how you look at it. And so makes you think of All American. It also makes you think of trust and strength. And so all of these colors matter, and variations of the colors matter. So I would encourage you at some point when you have figured out, okay, yes, I am going to do this thing, and this is the domain. And I own multiple domains. I have not executed on all of them, and sometimes I have variations of my name, of my business name. And if you think you're going to brand yourself, I would encourage you to go buy your own domain name, like buy your name. So that if you're planning on branding yourself, if your store is going to be called your name, like Donna Karen or whatever, then you can, you own the domain already. Because some people do that. I'm not wanting to, I do own my own domain, but I'm not wanting to brand myself like that. Like I want to move on and let it be a business so I can have some, when I get to that place that God is going to take me, then I can have some privacy and not have people, there's like, whatever. That so there's a couple of videos, YouTube videos. I'll include all the links and send them to you. But I want you to think about the colors and what they mean. And you can go look at your competitors' pages. I would encourage you to go look at your competitors' pages. Pay attention to their main page. Pay attention to their colors. Pay attention to their logo. You don't have to copy them, but you can always be inspired by them if you're drawing a blank, if you know this is the niche or the road that you want to go down. If you're still unsure, you can just, in your notebook, you can write down a couple of things and come back to it if you're still unsure. So go do some research on colors. Look at your competitors' pages and see what inspires you, if there's anything that inspires you. Or maybe it doesn't inspire you. Like, I don't know why they chose those colors. That's just ugly. And that's fine. That's not you. That's them. The next thing is ultimately, as a seller on Etsy, you are going to have to put in some information about yourself. I do want you to know that you do have the ability to, like, if you want to set up a P.O. box, you can go do a P.O. box. You can also do a virtual mailbox. So there's a couple of sites, and there's more than just these two, but Anytime Mailbox and Virtual Post Mail, like those are two that are an option that you can set up a virtual mailbox. Remember, you're going to have refunds, you're going to have returns. People are going to have to send it back to where as you set up your Etsy store. Where do you want the returns to come to? Now, some of the suppliers that you may be sourcing your product from, they'll accept the returns there, but you need to make sure you understand what their process is to accept it there, or whether or not it has to be returned to you, because ultimately you are the buyer. So if you're using an integration, they will have some, hopefully, detailed steps on what you need to do to deal with returns with them, or they may want it all to come from you because the integration is with you. So you need to know that as you're working with the different platforms. And if it's coming to you, then customers have to send you stuff, and you probably don't want it. You don't want your home address to be the thing. You probably want something else. You can have your home address be the thing if that's ultimately what you want to do, but it probably needs to come from somewhere else. And then once you buy your domain, then you can set up your email account with your domain settings. You can also do email forwarding from your domain so that you don't have to pay for the service of just managing your email. So if you do that, you can have it forwarded to your Gmail account. So like for me, I own like eCom sellers, mastery at gmail.com. Like I've set them all up. eCom sellers academy at gmail.com, eCom sellers at gmail.com, like all of them. So they all forward to not necessarily a centralized mailbox, but some of them are forwarded to a centralized mailbox so that way my VA can get to them. But think about how you want that to be structured, and also think about what it looks like forward facing for your customers. If you're sending them a communication that says Gmail, that may not be what it is they're looking for. I can tell you right now, I got all kinds of mail issues going on. We're switching to another mail provider, so all my stuff is coming from Gmail, but that's not always the case. Most of the time it comes from my domain. And so think about what that looks like, figure out what it is that you want to do. You don't have to make all those decisions today. There are free email tools out there as you work to grow and build your storefront. So you don't have to come out of pocket for an email provider or service, or you can do something where it's free for a while. And then your phone, I would encourage everybody, once you're ready, to set up a Google Voice account. I have a Google Voice account. It is fantastic. I've had Google Voice accounts for years, and they're tied to my business. And that means that I'm not giving away my phone number. I'm giving away the Google Voice number, and then you will know when it calls you that it's coming through your Google Voice line. And if there's any messages that are left, you can have a outgoing message that goes out, and they leave a message, and then you can call them back. And you can call them back through your Google Voice account, which is fantastic, meaning you can call them back from your computer. I've done that many times so that people don't have my phone number. You can also set up an 800 number through Freedom Voice or Grasshopper, and there's a lot of other tools that are out there. And I mentioned before the domains, you can get your domains from wherever. Now, I will tell you, if your niche is specific, I did an interview. I do a lot of interviews, but I did an interview the other day with Pauline Prince, who is the owner of Canada Prep and Fulfillment. She used all the keywords. She used all the SEO words because it is Canada Prep and Fulfillment. So if somebody is looking for a 3PL in Canada, they're going to choose her. She's going to come up first in the search. If somebody is looking for someone to do their prep of their inventory in Canada, she's going to come up first in the search. If she wants somebody to do fulfillment, she's going to come up first in the search. I told her, I said, whatever made you decide to buy the domain and the fact that it was available, Canada Prep and Fulfillment, that was genius. So there is no way that anyone is going to be looking for fulfillment services in Canada without coming across her business. She is on page 1 of Google all the time. If you put in anything that has to do with fulfillment in Canada, she's always on the page 1. So think about the name of your business if it's going to be a niche that's going to serve a group or a community. Nike does not mean anything until we started seeing the commercials and athletes started wearing it. Prior to that, nobody knew what a Nike was. What is a Nike? Everybody knew what an Apple was, but nobody thought of Apple as an actual device or company. They thought of it as a fruit. So Apple came in and kind of changed the game on using a word to describe your business. Just kind of crazy. Disney, nobody knew what a Disney was. So my point is that you can come up with an obscure name that may eventually become famous over time, or you can come up with a name that describes exactly what your product or service is. So think about that as you can come back and rewatch this and think about that. And then last but not least, when it comes to social media, I cannot harp on this enough. This will make all the difference in the world. Grab all your social media assets, all of them, everywhere, including LinkedIn. So if somebody wanted to buy a bunch of candles from a business standpoint, if they can be found on LinkedIn, again, that helps their business presence. No matter where you go, you find them everywhere. I don't know why I don't have TikTok on here. Not that TikTok always matters, but anyway. So go and once you've gotten your domain, before you've even finished out what your colors are going to be or whatever, go park all your social media assets. If you've got it down to 3 different names, then just go park all 3 names, just in case one of them starts to resonate and you still own the other 3 or the other 2. And so you could go do something with the other 2 at any given moment, and nobody can ever use those. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. I want you to think about your business, not as in right now, as we are doing downloadables or printables, but I need you to close your eyes and visualize your business being something bigger than what you see it to be right now. So, does that help everybody?
Yes.
It does.
All right. So, your assignment is again to get caught up on last week for sure. That's 1. And then 2, to be thinking about, but don't let this paralyze you, whether or not you feel like maybe at some later point, it may not be right now, that you want to make this something much bigger than what it is today. Or if you're not at that place where you can think like that, it's okay. Just keep plugging away, keep being consistent, keep creating listings, keep practicing, keep working on getting better at, titles and images and all that other stuff. And then at some point, you may actually get some traction. Maybe talk to your family, talk to your kids, um, get their ideas, get their thoughts about it. Because I think there's an opportunity for all of us to create something amazing and leave it in the universe for the world to see or to use or to have. So, with that, that is all I got for you today. Please use that. And tomorrow, I think I'll be at a stable place. I'm supposed to be traveling to the country for a special needs family retreat, which is not going to be a retreat for me, but it's going to be a retreat for Nicholas. He's been through a lot lately. So we're going to be in the country. I'm praying that the signal is going to be strong. If it's not strong, then I will deal with that and figure it out. So there's a possibility, I'll say it again, that I may have to pre-record Wednesday. We should be at a good place on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, but tomorrow it might be a little off. So I don't want anybody to be surprised if you come to the link and I'm not here. And if you do need to schedule some time with me, please just schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. You can look in the email that I sent you and just schedule a session with me. Let me help you where you are. Let me help you get focused. Let me help you get going. Let me help you get some traction. Let me help you while I have the opportunity to help you. The following week, next week, the following week, and the week after next, I'm going to be working on the eCom Q4 Summit for 3 weeks straight. So I'm still going to be teaching, but I won't have the open bandwidth that I do right now, which is small, but I still have it. So, and hopefully you guys will share that out and let people know about the eCom Q4 Summit, because I think we're going to have a pretty good lineup. All right. I think that's it. You all have a blessed evening. And we'll say goodbye for now.
Thank you,
Bye.
Nicole.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye,
Bye.
ladies.